Welcome to the very first installment of Shooting the Shit with the Schwantzes. Well, technically, it's the third time we've gotten together to do a commentary, but this is the
last.
This could be the last.
Could be the last.
Oh, jeez, we haven't even started, and you're already hating this. So if you have a question for us for next time, if there is a next time, or a topic you want us to discuss, just leave it down in the comments section and we'll try and get to it. Now, an hour and 10 minutes is a smidge too long last time, and thankfully we don't have as many questions as we did last time, but we're going to try and limit it to, 20 minutes or so at the most. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right. First question is from Nate Marcus. What's the dumbest thing you've done in front of each other?
I don't know. I do like a lot of dumb shit, but especially in front of you, because I let my guard down, so I say some stupid ass shit. I'm sure I've asked you some stupid ass questions, but probably when I threw my card at that guy.
Throwing your ID at the guy?
Yeah.
That's a callback to the last episode in case you missed it. For me, the dumbest thing that I have done was, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but for 9,000 subscribers, I did the clam juice challenge, which was every time I would die, I'd have to take a shot of clam juice. Now, the day before I actually recorded that video, I had the clam juice on my desk, and the missus came down, or the Ms. rather, came down and was like, "What the fuck is that in that brown paper bag over there? Are you drinking 40s on me behind my back?" And I'm like, "No, it's clam juice." And she's like, "That's even worse." So I explained to her what I was going to do, and she's like, "Don't you dare do that. That's disgusting. I'll never kiss you ever again if you do that." So, of course, me being the asshole I am, is like, she'll never fucking find out if I do it or not. So, of course, the next day I recorded it, and, since my YouTube isn't, like, public domain or anything, there's no way that she could have found out that I actually did it. So,
I don't watch your shit.
She doesn't watch my videos, to be fair, but she was asking about the bottle of clam juice.
Why would I go check? I thought you would be honest.
Right.
I thought you would be honest.
So, of course, she ended up catching me in the lie, because the video was right on my YouTube channel. There was no dodging it or getting around it.
That's not how. I asked you, and you fucking were, like, all smug about it, and you said something, and I was like, "You did it, didn't you?" And then you just, like, were like, "Yeah." Listen, every time I think about that, I get so mad about it.
So, the dumbest thing that I've done is just a stupid lie. And that's something you shouldn't do, is just stupid lies for absolutely no reason. There are little white lies that supposedly don't hurt anybody, but trust me, it'll come back to bite you in the ass eventually.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Epso RKS. If there is any animal you could be, which would it be and why? My favorite animal is a penguin. But penguins live in cold-ass weather, and they have to deal with eating seafood every day. So I'm not sure that I'd want to be, a penguin. But I would like to be some sort of bird that's not a penguin. One that could actually fly. I think it would be cool to fly around like a hawk or a falcon. One that eats meat, of course.
I was gonna say, it's really funny.
Not an ostrich.
As you were talking about that, I was thinking, and you know how much I love big cats, but the problem is with big cats is they're all dying and they're all being killed, and I don't want to die like that. So then I was like, I should just be a house cat, because then I fucking have the life of Riley. But then you want to be a bird, and before you said you want to be a big bird, I was like, oh, my cat can eat your bird.
So if we were in the wild, folks,
I'd fucking eat you.
My wife would grab me out of thin air and then put my dead body, on top of, their owner's, doorstep.
Yeah, I'd bring you to my owner to be proud of what I did.
What a jerk.
You're the one who fucking picked bird. And I literally was just thinking cat. So, that's what you think when you put birds and cats together.
That is true.
So,
That is true.
It wasn't being mean. It's just what came to mind. I was being honest.
Fair enough. Honesty is the best policy, as we learned with the first story there.
Always.
Billy Bedlam asks, if you guys could own anything in the world, what would it be and why?
Oh, that's really hard. I must have skipped over that when I read over these questions. I just perused.
Well, we were talking the other night about retirement because, we have some people that we know that are in my community that are retired or that have just recently retired, and everybody jokes, hey, it'll be your turn soon, not in 35 years or whatever it'll be, but what are we going to do when we retire? And one of the things that I was like, hey, we should just open up a cat sanctuary, because Ms. Schwantz likes to help rescuing cats. Every time there's a cat that needs a home, I always get the Schwantz, can we have one more cat, please? And I'm like, I understand you want to help out cats, but we cannot save them all, unfortunately. But if we have a cat sanctuary where we could help those cats that are in need of a home, I'm sure we could do that, And, raising a cat really isn't that hard. You just have to feed it twice a day and just, make sure it's somewhat entertained with enough toys around the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. I would want to own something that would help other people because, I don't know, I like our life. It's pretty good as it is. If I could have anything else, it would be maybe something to help other beings.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to have a super expensive sports car that I get to drive every once in a while. But a guy can dream.
Yeah, I mean, but look, see, if you guys, then maybe it's the both of us. So if it was for the both of us.
Right.
We're good.
O.P. Kalen asks, would you rather, for the first one, live one 1,000-year life like a vampire, or 10 100-year lives?
10 100-year lives.
Definitely. Because I could not be... I guess you could kind of choose different paths every single time.
Yeah, I agree.
Although, what happens if you don't know that you've already lived, like, other lives? You know what I mean?
It would be interesting to do that, and then, well, I guess, we don't believe in, God or anything, but I'd say, at the end, see how you lived each life and see what if you made the same choices.
Yeah, it's kind of like playing The Sims 10 times in a row, you know what I mean?
Or having 10 different Sims games simultaneously. Like I used to do.
Yeah, I don't want to live a very long life, to be honest with you. Once my body starts breaking down, fuck it. I don't want to be a burden on other people. So, a 1,000-year life, I mean, even if I was, even if I was like a vampire and we wouldn't age really, I wouldn't want to live for that long in one setting. Give me a break. Can I have 20 days in purgatory in between each of my lives, please?
I guess what you could do though, as you mentioned vampires, if you lived 1,000-year life, then you could have enough money that you don't have to stay in the same place. You can move all over, and you have the opportunity to save money versus 10 100-year lives. You have to start all over each time.
Yeah.
So me.
Is this swaying your choice now?
No, not particularly.
All right. On to the next one. Watch your parents have sex every day for the rest of your life, or join in once to make it stop.
Neither.
Well, you can't. You have to.
No,
you have
neither.
to choose
no,
one
for
of the
this,
two.
Neither. It makes me want to vomit just thinking about this question. It really does. It's disgusting. That's my answer.
I would do number 2, actually. The first one, actually. I looked at the question was number 2. I would do the first one because after the first 30 days of shock and horror, eventually you'd be like, meh, this porno isn't that good. I've seen better. And just move on with your life. Whereas if you join in once, that I don't know if I could do. That would be... I don't know if I could do a 2 guys, 1 girl sexcapade, if you will. I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could do a threesome with another dude. It would have to be with 2 chicks. So that's why I'm going watch sex every day for the rest of my life. After a while, I'd get used to it. It'd be mind-numbing to me.
Yeah. No. No and no.
You can't. You're taking
No.
the easy way out.
No, I'm not.
So then you have to have both of number 3. You have to both have a vagina on your forehead and a row of dicks on your back like a stegosaurus.
Fine.
Is that okay? Is that the compromise?
That's fine. Then I'll have a vagina on my forehead. I'll hide it with some bangs. And I guess if the dicks aren't hard, it won't really be a problem. I'll just wear a baggy shirt.
Well, you don't sleep on your back anyway, right? For me, I'd rather have the vagina on my forehead because, one, I'd have an excuse to grow my hair out long, like you said, and put bangs in front of it. Can you imagine a dude with bangs? That would look kind of weird, right?
It's like the monkeys.
Anyway, or, I sleep on my back. I don't want to have a row of penises on my back. Imagine trying to sleep on that shit.
You'd be coming all the time.
Yeah,
You'd be,
but
like, so sensitive.
I'd be
right?
like 3 feet off the ground, like when
3 feet off the ground. Oh, you're
all right.
generous.
Three inches off the
You're
ground.
generous.
3 inches off the ground when I go and try and wake up in the morning because of morning wood. Gotta go with the vagina on the forehead. All right. I plow fat apes. I go homeless and need a place to live. Would you let me live in your house for a week?
Who is this person?
This person is one of my gaming buddies that I play with all the time. He's a member of the crew. The link to our community channel, or I guess not really a community channel because we don't let anybody post to it, but the link to our group channel is in the description of all of my videos. So
That I don't watch.
That you don't watch. He currently lives in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, so he's
gotta be kinda
he's
cool.
familiar to like the Brooklyn and New York ways.
Like, not because he lives, because actually, like, people who live in Williamsburg, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this, but I kind of think Williamsburg is overrated.
Oh.
But I mean, it's not the worst place. I lived very close to Williamsburg when I lived in Brooklyn.
Well,
so like at least like we'd have something in common. It wouldn't be like this stranger that I probably would hate. I think I'd probably like them.
Well, think about it this way. If we let this person live in our house for a week, they could fucking clean our house.
Oh yeah, fucking awesome. Well, they're probably want to look for a job, but yeah, fucking awesome.
We don't even need to hire a maid. We could just let them. If you want to live in my house for a week, you gotta clean
it. Yep.
Churro Bro 98 favorite restaurant. See, I like to go to places that brew their own beer.
Yeah.
Those are usually, for me, the places that are really good. Because if they're really good at brewing beer and they understand the chemistry that it takes, 9 times out of 10, they also make really good food. I know, at least in our area, there is several places that brew their own beer and they have really, really good food.
I would agree with that, but I mean, I think a lot of things, and this is going to be really overanalyzing the question, go into your favorite restaurant, you know, so it's like, is it your favorite restaurant because, like, the food is pretty good, but the atmosphere is really good also, and you always have a really good time, you know, or is it just, like, based on good food, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times a good meal is based on good company.
Yeah.
So
I mean, one of our favorite places, I'll just throw out one for example. One of our favorite places when we used to live in New York was this place called Nick's, which was around the corner from our house.
Pretty good.
And it was a family-style Italian place, and it has the best calamari I've ever eaten. So if you're in New York City, that's a good place to go. Family-style Italian, giant portions.
It was on, like, 94th, right?
94th and 2nd. But for favorite chain restaurant, I used to work at Ruby Tuesday, and I still really like Ruby Tuesday.
Go to Ruby Tuesdays. Or Five Guys is pretty good.
Five Guys isn't... I would consider Five Guys not really a restaurant.
Shake Shack.
Those aren't really...
Like
yeah, those are...
yeah.
Like more of a sit down and get waited on place. Ruby Tuesday, I think, is our favorite chain restaurant.
Shake Shack. God, I wish we lived in the city.
Alright, reminiscing aside, Orbit Retro X. Would you rather piss every time you sit down or shit every time you stand up? LOL.
I'd rather piss every time you sit down, because, like, I'm a girl, so I already have to, like, put, like, pads. Well, I guess you can't put we can't tampon it, but, like, pads. So you could always just put that on or wear a diaper, and then, you could just go change it.
So you're gonna be the
and
fucking...
it absorbs. But, like,
you're gonna be one of those people on Hoarders that just have a closet full of diapers because they're too lazy
No, I didn't say that. I said, no, they're a closet full of diapers. They're too lazy to freaking go to the bathroom or fix their shit. If you were forced to do that, you can throw the used diaper away after you're finished with it. And I'd rather not smell like shit.
See, I'm going the opposite. I'd rather shit every time I stand up because I spend most of the day sitting down. I don't know if the question is if you have to sit down every time you pee when you go to the bathroom, you know, kind of thing.
No, I think it's like when you sit down you pee and when you stand up you shit.
Right. I'd rather shit every time I stand up because I stand up a lot less than I sit down.
You do it fucking equally.
No, you don't.
If you sit down, you have to eventually stand up. It's equal. It's equal.
Fuck you and your math problem. See? This is why, ladies and gentlemen, Oh my goodness.
This is why what? This is why I'm sometimes smarter than you are.
Yeah, exactly, and I can't handle it. I can't fucking handle it. Alright, so forget my answer then. It's pretty much irrelevant.
Would you rather than piss?
I don't care. Next question, moving on.
You could have like a piss bag. You could piss into the bag.
Yeah, but you could also have a shit bucket that you just shit into every time you stand
you
up.
have to drop trow every time.
Whatever.
Okay.
Taking off my pants every time I stand up is not something...
I don't think that your job would be very happy with that.
No, not at all. Amro King asks, what do you both think of what's going on in Gaza, the Arab-Israeli war?
Well, it's over now.
It's never over.
Well, yeah, I guess technically it's never... Well, the war part is over. I don't know. It was a really fucking shitty situation. I'm someone, I guess maybe it's a girl thing or a woman thing where I could see both sides to the story. Like, I think there's shitty, like, fucked up things on both sides. Not even just, like, the war, but the whole situation. And I think each side has valid points, you know. I mean, it does bother me that Palestine is basically run by what most people consider a terrorist organization, but at the same time, I can understand why Palestinians want to stand up for themselves when Israelis keep pushing into their lands by building these settlements and, you know, keep pushing the issue and pushing the issue and pushing the issue. So I don't really have a side per se.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either. Fuck them both. I'm very anti-religion, and this whole thing is a religious, you know, people are like, oh, it's a land dispute, you know. No, it's not a land.
Well,
the land dispute is because of religion.
No. Well,
yes.
It's like, okay, no, you are correct. The roots are religion. It's like something I know way more about. It's like the conflict in Northern Ireland and in Ireland, where initially it was a religion thing.
Mm-hmm.
Initially it was a religion thing. And even to this day, you can align the sides mostly on the sides of religion. But
right.
It's less about religion now than just the history of everything. Because I mean, like, you think, like, really, I don't think the Palestinian, the Hamas might hate, you know, Jewish people, but most of the Palestinian people don't necessarily hate Jewish people, besides the fact they hate Israel because Israel is coming into their land,
mm-hmm.
and vice versa. Like, Israelis live with many different type of peoples there. They don't necessarily hate Muslims, they just hate the terrorists that are fucking bombing them. Totally it's totally understandable, but it's no longer a religious thing.
See, I'll disagree with you, and here's why. A lot of the support for Israel is actually from Christians in the United States.
Well,
who, let me finish. A lot of the Christians in the United States who are pouring money into Israel, they're pouring money into the idea of Israel because if Jewish people control this holy sector of land, that means that you know who will come back and save all of these religious people.
Voldemort?
No, not
Voldemort.
No, not exactly.
You're obviously not a Harry Potter fan.
No,
Otherwise,
I'm not.
You never would have used that terminology.
No.
No, I know, and I can.
So
understand
that's why it's a religious conflict.
No, it's
Israel
not.
wouldn't even have legs to stand on if they didn't have support from these people. And the reason why Israelis were put there in the first place was because they were exterminated in Germany due to the fact that they were Jewish, and when Britain had the brilliant idea to say, oh, hey.
I thought it was the world. It wasn't Britain.
No, it was Britain. They had the brilliant idea to say, hey, let's put these people in this land which is deemed holy by their book of choice, and the Arabs on the other side say, this is our holy land because of our book of choice. That's the real conflict that's going on.
Okay. Well, first of all, we're going to go over 20 minutes because we're spending like 10 minutes on this alone.
We'll
wrap
it up here.
I don't want to wrap it up because while you are right that Christians are pouring tons of money because they think it's going to be Armageddon and the rapture is going to fucking happen, which is totally fucking batshit insane. While you are right that part of the money going in there, that's not the money that's fueling the Israeli government. And the Israeli government, it's not. It might be fueling other groups that maybe push the settlements to have them grow. and they might get a lot of support, but it's the U.S. government, which, yes, mostly Christian, but their money isn't going there because they're Jewish. It's not going to there because it's Christian. We're sending money over there because Israel is a democratic state in the middle of a lot of non-democratic states, and it's to our benefit that they do well, because then we have someone there, an ally in the region. That's why we give them money and help support their government, or, you know, give money to their government. I don't really know what the money does. I just know we fucking give them a shit ton of money. That's what it is. But that's not a religious war. The minority side to it, yeah, that might be that individual donors and individual churches are donating to other, you know, organizations within there, but they're not donating to the government. The government isn't supported by these Christian groups that are sending money there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know enough about exactly where the money is going, but
well,
I guess we'll have to agree to disagree.
I can't imagine an Israeli government is going to fucking take money from, like, the evangelical church in, you know, I don't know,
Why
the middle
not?
of the country, because it's not a state. Would you, like, do you think the German government...
anybody can pay taxes to the United States voluntarily.
Where do you send it?
To the IRS. Yeah.
They're just not gonna do it. Like, I think, like, oh, I can send money to Germany. They're not gonna fucking... I mean, I guess they'll take my money, but...
Why not?
But it's not like majorly supporting it, and it's not... I mean, you'd have what likely is happening, like what happens in this country, is probably they're sending it to groups, and those groups are
hijacking causes.
Not hijacking causes, but sending lobbyists to pressure politicians. But I don't think that, you know, because like some random Christian group sends money to their tax system, if this is the way you think it's going to happen, and they take money that some politician somewhere in Israel is going to be like, oh, this random group in America gave us money, so, you know,
yeah.
I don't buy that, and yeah.
I mean, the bottom line is the whole situation is fucked and will continue to be fucked
until people are grown up.
Until the foreseeable future.
Everyone in this situation can be grown ups, and
with religious fanatics, it's not.
But it's not just everyone at this. No, it's not going to happen with certain elements being in there on either side. But what you have to do is that's what I said. You're right, it's fucked. But if everyone can fucking be grown-ups about it, then it's not fucked. Would you agree with that? And understand that you have to compromise a little bit, and there is an agreement that everyone can feel good about. But everyone's very stubborn.
I don't know. When you're raised in that type of environment, violence will beget more violence, and it's just, unless something drastic happens, this is the way it's going to be. To some extent, yes, but I don't think that Israel and Palestine, that area, is like growing up in, you know, in the rural areas of Iraq or Afghanistan where you don't have contact with the outside world. It's a very small country, and I do think you're not necessarily as growing up as isolated and as indoctrinated as that. Some people could be, but I don't think it's to the scale you're thinking of. Yeah. All right. Now that we've spent all of our time on that question, Matthew Baberchok, have you both ever listened to Nine Inch Nails? Of course, we've heard Nine Inch Nails' music. I'm not a huge fan.
I wouldn't say I'm I'm not like a fanatic or anything. I like them, and if they're on, I mean, it depends like anything. I could love the band, and if I'm not in the mood to listen to them, I'll turn it off. So, yep, that's it.
Yeah, industrial music like that is really not my thing.
I like Tool.
I don't like Tool either.
I know, you don't. I don't know why.
It's simple. Tool for me is a lot of... Tool for me is a lot of their songs are build up and no climax or denouement or nothing. It just seems like everything is a quote unquote pre-chorus part too, and a larger part that just never happens. That's why I don't like Tool. It's a lot of just ambient noise, really.
Okay,
which
that's
is how
valid. I mean, come on.
That's how I think of Nine Inch Nails too. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
All right, Jonathan Thiesby. Of all the bands and songs you play in your streams, which is your favorite? I think this question is directed at me.
Your own.
Yes, my own band. I love the way my own band sounds because unlike Tool, we actually have parts of the songs that, you know, go up and crescendo and let you down and, you know, there's stuff there. No, I'm just kidding. But my favorite band is Megadeth. I've seen them a bunch of times in concerts and they're my favorite and they're my favorite that I play. For Ms. Schwantz, does it annoy you when Brian streams?
Only when you fucking take up all my bandwidth and my video stops skipping. Although while we were away, I got an email that Verizon updated our stuff, and I've noticed there hasn't been a problem.
Well, Fios has given us more upload speed, so therefore, when I stream, it'll be easier on everybody else because I'm uploading myself streaming to a streaming
service. So they did it because you were sucking their system dry.
No. They're like, hey, we've noticed that you've been constantly hitting up against your 5 meg up. We're going to give you 15 meg up now, which is what they changed it to. But no, they did that like across the board. They were doing this campaign of like, well, your upload should be as fast as your downloads, which really it should be. There's a whole like another infinitely long discussion we could have on, you know, net neutrality and how companies are completely fucking us with these internet upload speeds and throttling people and not giving people the internet that they deserve. But Verizon actually gave us extra upload speed, which is kind of nice. So that's probably why.
For it.
If you go onto speedtest.net, which I do from time to time, you could do a speed test and confirm that we're getting 25 up.
No, what
and
I'm
15
saying is
down.
that they gave it to us, but they didn't say if they were charging us for it or not. We need to check that.
No, they're not. They were giving it for free.
Okay.
Well, I'll check the bill anyway.
Yeah.
You were a sweat once. How long will I do YouTube for? Until it stops being fun, really. You know, this is my hobby. I have a full-time job, and if this either stops being fun or for completeness sake, gets in the way of, you know, my real life activities to an extent where I cannot no longer do them, then that's when I'll stop doing YouTube. Like, for example, you might have noticed that there are some days that I don't upload a video. Well, guess what? I was a little busy. Shit happens.
Or I'm like, let's go someplace. And if you say, hey, I have to do a YouTube, I get pretty pissed.
Yeah, so I like to have a hobby-work-life balance, and, you know, if the balance goes one way or another, then unfortunately I can't upload a video that day. I'm not going to, you know, this doesn't pay the bills, you know, doesn't pay my Verizon bill, so I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, you know. And does Ms. Schwantz like how your channel is growing?
I do.
You're impressed?
Yeah, I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you. It was a big feat. In a fairly short amount of time, too.
Yeah.
You came back from South Africa.
Well, I mean, I had a bunch of things fall into place when I came back. When we took our honeymoon, I was around 250 subscribers, and then I got in touch with somebody who had like a 30,000 subscriber channel, and he was like, listen, man, I want you to do weekly uploads for me. It was a guy, PwnStars.com. If you don't know who that is, then you're crazy if you're a Call of Duty fan, because he at the time was the best Call of Duty player that there was, and he, like most Call of Duty players, are terrible commentators. He just didn't want to do it. He'd rather just play the game and post up his gameplay, but unfortunately people don't really like watching just gameplay, so he would have me do commentaries for him, and it was a mutually beneficial thing. He had one upload per week that he could monetize and get money off of, and I could grow at the same time. So I gained multiple thousands of subscribers just by posting on his channel. Then I got in touch with other people, and then it snowballs. And that's really how you grow your channel on YouTube, is through collaboration and networking. You know, not by saying, hey guys, I know nobody will ever read this, but come check out my channel. No, that doesn't work. Luna Rims asks a question for Ms. Schwantz. Fuck, marry, kill the salad guy, the salad guy's girlfriend, and the one guy you yelled preach it to. Okay. So, as a disclaimer, if you guys don't know what this is talking about, then go watch the previous episode.
Yeah. Well, okay, so this is really easy. I don't fucking even know who I yelled preach it to. Actually, maybe it was... Didn't I yell it to you?
No idea.
Let's just pretend it wasn't you.
Okay.
Because I don't remember.
Because if it is me and you're going to kill the guy that you yelled...
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know the guy I yelled preach it to. So
he's dead.
He's dead. I guess I would fuck the salad guy, 'cause then I'd only have to do it once.
Well, when you know this, obviously, once you get married, you never fuck ever again, so...
I know.
I'm just
and
kidding.
he's just, I place a lot of value on marrying the right person. I mean, if you weren't the right person for me, we wouldn't have gotten married.
Right.
And not that I don't like him, I just couldn't be married to him, which I think is fine, because I'm not. And then I'd marry the salad guy's girlfriend, who's one of my best friends and was one of my matron of honors, because now they're married. So I'd love I'd love to see her every day. It'd be delightful.
And you know, now that gay marriage is becoming a thing, that we can make that happen.
It's not like don't treat it as like, oh, it's a thing. That makes it sound like it's just like a trend. It's not a trend. It's
you know what I mean. Jesus. See, she's like the bleeding heart, you know, always criticizing, you know, people's words. Whereas me, you know, I think people should be allowed to say what they want to say, but you can get vilified for it. But I'm not that nitpicky about it.
No, maybe I'm just like nitpicky. I don't know. I just think like it's a good thing, and just, I don't know, you just made it sound like a trend, and I think we both know enough people where we should really value that.
Fine, fair enough. See, folks, this is what we call the yes dear approach to marriage. Yes, dear. GovHQ asks, does your wife know about the show My Little Pony Friendship is Magic? And if so, which is the best pony?
I feel like I must have known that about that show, because that's why My Little Ponies is a thing again, but I've never watched it.
Did you used to have My Little Ponies when you were younger?
I did, and it was really fun. I remember,
Did you brush their hair and all that stuff?
And I even had like the little girl that went with them. And then, you know, a really funny story about that. So I got this doll, and I must have only had it for a very short amount of time, and I lost it for years. And like, not that like I missed it, but every once in a while I'd be like, hey, I thought I had that doll. Where did it go? You know? And then one day I go, my grandparents redid their attic, like all nice, and I go up there to go pull out some toys and play, and what's there but my doll? I must have left it in my grandparents' house, but it was like still brand new.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So which is the best pony?
Oh, I don't remember their names. I don't know, the blue one.
All right, then.
When it was like My Little Ponies, they didn't really have personality. It's not like I feel like it was
never a cartoon show.
Yeah, it was.
So then the cartoon show, they obviously had names. You just don't remember any of them?
Yeah. But it was like, you know how Care Bears was like one thing, and now they brought it back, and it's all like glitzy glammy. Yeah. It's like different. So.
Okay. APAGs, were you on drugs when you decided that you were a New York Rangers fan?
I would like to know what fan he is.
He is a New Jersey Devils fan.
You know.
All right, so the story for me is that I became a New York Rangers fan because my grandfather was a New York Rangers fan before the fucking Devils were even in existence, which is what is going to lead into your story as well, because your dad was a Rangers fan.
My dad was a Rangers fan. My dad grew up around the corner from where the Rangers used to practice on Long Island, so he's got some pretty awesome stories. He used to go watch them practice. This is before the Islanders.
Before the Islanders, before the Devils.
It was the Rangers, because they're original six. And then, you know, so he always grew up with that. And I mean, he had some amazing experiences. Like the one he told me about was that, you know, he would go watch them every day, and then one day him and his friends were playing street hockey, and a station wagon pulls up. And out pops Eddie Jockman with some other Rangers, and they pull out, you know, a net and some sticks and some street hockey balls, and they start playing hockey with, you know, my dad, who's 9 years old, and that was pretty cool. And I think for him that cemented it. You know, my first Ranger game is marked on my baby calendar, you know, so.
Yeah, unfortunately, my grandfather passed away in 1992, so he wasn't around to see the second cup, but he was definitely around to see the 1940 cup, so at least he got to see them win once. But he was a Ranger fan for before even the Devils were even
before most teams were even anything.
Right.
But I think it's funny because your grandmother told us that story about I guess, did they live on Long Island at one point before they moved upstate?
Yes.
Okay, so they lived on Long Island before they moved upstate. And then she was telling us how when they were upstate, your grandfather used to have to drive to the tallest hill to get the Rangers game on the car radio, and he'd sit in the car.
Because back then they didn't have MSG on the TV, right?
People know that. For that story, he had to fucking drive up.
He had to drive up a 1.5-mile hill, sit in the car with the radio on when it was like, you know.
It's
10 degrees out.
Hockey
so
season.
freezing his ass off in the car listening to the game.
New York.
Even more upstate than we are.
Yeah.
Next question, Renz. If not asked/answered already, how did you propose? So I put this question here right after the Rangers question because our first date was at a New York Rangers game. So it was on December 23rd, and every year the Rangers have a game at home on December 23rd because right before Christmas there's the whole Rockefeller Center skating bullshit. So it was tradition that we went every year. So one year for that particular game, I decided, hey, this was going to be it. This was going to be...
Did you decide? You didn't really
I was
decide.
coerced into...
You didn't really decide.
I was coerced into doing it this way.
You agreed.
Yeah.
You agreed it would be a good idea.
So I called up MSG, and for a $100 donation to the Garden of Dreams, they were like, all right, we'll put your message up on the board. Now, listen very carefully. Your message is going to go up between the first and second periods. So make sure you're at your seat in the first intermission when this happens. So the game's going on. I'm getting a little bit nervous. First period ends. And Ms. Schwantz goes, hey, I want to see if there's something in the gift shop so that we can give it as a Christmas gift to one of our family members. And I'm like,
Probably
I don't know if this is a good idea right now, because in the back of my mind, I know there's going to be messages popping up between the first and second period. So I'm like, I don't know if this is a good idea right now. The shop is probably going to be pretty packed because it's in between periods. Let's go, once the second period, a little bit into the second period once it starts. And she's like, okay, fair enough. And I'm like, holy shit, dodged a fucking bullet.
Well, I was testing you, and I was like, okay. Maybe it is happening today.
All
right,
right,
we're very dodgy.
So then the messages come up, right? There's about 10 minutes left until the start of the second period. The messages start popping up. And so the first message that comes up is a marriage proposal. And I'm like, all right, good. Mine is going to be next. So I reach into my jacket pocket and grab the ring out of my jacket pocket. The next message is, happy 30th birthday, so-and-so. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Next message, happy 12th birthday, so-and-so. And I'm like, no, this can't be happening right now. So as it goes down the line, it gets progressively worse. And then it turns into, happy first Ranger game, Maddie. And I'm like, no, what the fuck? Where is my message? I paid $100 fucking for this shit.
And then I think it switched to other things, too. Like, it went to, their stupid videos that they play in between.
Right. So then the messages stopped. And I'm just sitting there like, no, this is not happening right now. And of course... The missus looks at me, upset. And she's looking at me like, what the fuck, dude? We're supposed to be doing this shit right now. So I calmly explained to her that, just stay in your seat. Just wait a second. Let's not get gifts right now. But, of course, I'm flipping the fuck out inside. I'm like, where's this message? So then finally, the next set of messages come along. And I'm like, all right, good. It's going to be here. It's going to be first one here. First message up, marriage proposal, not mine. I'm like... Motherfucker, where is this fucking message? The next message comes up, happy birthday so-and-so. I'm like, not this shit again. So I'm pissed. I fucking just I'm huffing and puffing in my seat. And, of course, at this point, she obviously knows. And then all of a sudden, the last message is, will you marry me, Miss Schwantz? And neither of us were ready for it. Because she had her cell phone out to take a picture of it and everything. Put that shit away after the first couple of failed messages. And then all of a sudden it's like, the message pops up on the screen. I'm like, oh my god, there it is. And she's like, no way! And so at first it wasn't even like, yes, I will marry you. Oh my god, this is so exciting. It's like, really? I can't believe it took that fucking long to get the goddamn message up.
I felt like such a jerk. I was so upset. I was texting my friend being like, this is not happening. I'm so upset. But, like, to be fair, like, I knew you had that. We picked out the ring together. It's not like I didn't know.
Right.
So it's not like you didn't know what the answer was going to be.
Right.
It was just a little anticlimactic.
Extremely. So then, what they did is, you know, at the start of the next period, they had somebody bring over, like, a gift bag. So every time you make a donation to the Garden of Dreams Foundation, they give you a gift bag. So, of course, I get the gift bag, and then I sneakily just threw the ring in at the bottom, and I'm like, Ms. Schwantz, why don't you pick out the things that are in the gift bag? And then, you know, at the bottom is the ring, and it's like, oh my god.
Not sneakily. I gave it back to you so you could do that. You're like, here, give it back to me.
And then the couple behind us is like, wait, did you guys just get engaged? It was like so it was so very us that it fit the moment perfectly.
I can laugh about it now.
I'm glad you can. Froelich, is that how you say that?
I don't
Froelich? Froelich? You're going to have to put your pronunciation down in the comments section. Wilkford, have you ever tried sleeping on top of each other naked? I think that I would crush Ms. Schwann, so I don't think she'd appreciate that very much.
I just don't think it's very comfortable. I don't like being too hot when I sleep. And
Yeah.
You give off a lot of body heat.
Yeah. I'm one of those people that I sleep with a fan all year long, pretty much. I do not like to... I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I don't like sleeping naked, which is kind of weird, because I feel pretty vulnerable when I'm naked, but at the same time, like, I don't dress up in, like, the garment... You know, with the sleeping cap, I wear, like, shorts and a shirt, you know, to bed pretty much.
Or boxers.
Yeah, and I think if she slept on top of me, I don't think she would enjoy it. I'm not a very soft surface, you know. Our mattress is very, very comfortable.
You're a very loud snorer.
Am I too?
Yes.
That's not good, then.
Yes.
Imagine trying to fall asleep with a train running through your ear.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's why that doesn't work.
But I think maybe, is that an insinuation, like, have we had sex? And we're married, so I think that there's an answer.
You gotta test drive the car before you buy it, folks. Alright, and lastly, Leo, DJ, FJ, JR, JR. So, Junior? I don't know. From a scale of 1 to tomato sauce, what is your favorite color in the alphabet?
I thought I'd be able to answer this quite cleverly, but that did not happen.
Alright, let's try this again.
No,
From a scale...
It's not gonna work the second time.
The answer to your question is schmegma. Thank you guys for...
That was brilliant. So much more clever than I did.
Thank you guys for submitting your questions. If you want us to answer your question next time, leave it down in the comment section. We're going on 45 minutes, so a little bit longer than we wanted to, but definitely shorter than the last time. So, yeah, we'll try and do better the next time.
Yep.
We've been TheShwantzes, off like foreskin at a bar mitzvah. That's not when that happens, is it?
No.
Fuck. Until next time.